Lesson 5-1, Fraction Decomposition. I want you to use fraction circles again to decompose a fraction into a sum of unit fractions. To use your fraction circles to decompose fractions and mix numbers into sums of fractions with the same denominators. And finally, to write equations and shade fraction circles to show fractions as the sum of fractions with the same denominators. Wow, that's a lot to say. Let's start first with our mental math and fluency, and then I'll more thoroughly explain that by modeling for you. Name equivalent fractions for 1/2. Well, hopefully you're just taking the next one and saying 2/4, 3/6, 4/8, 5/10. Remember, 1/2, any numbers are equivalent where the top number is half of the bottom number. So even if it was 500 over 1,000, 500's half of 1,000. 1/4. Whenever I see the fraction 1/4, instantly I think of a quarter because it takes 1/4 to equal 1/4 of a dollar. So that would be 25 out of 100. But I also could just multiply each numerator and denominator by 2. So 1/4 would be equal to 2/8. And then I can multiply each of the denominator and numerator by 3. 1/4 times 3 for both numerator and denominator would equal 3/12. And finally, 1/3. Again, 1/3, I multiply both numerator and denominator by 2. I get 2/6. I multiply them both by 3. I get 3/9. I multiply them both by 4. I get 4/12. Finding equivalent fractions is fairly simple if you know how to use your multiplication fact grid, or even more simple if you make sure you know your multiplication facts. The red circle. This problem reads, the red circle is the whole. Use yellow fraction circle pieces to show 3/4. And then what equation can you write to show 3/4 as the sum of the yellow fraction circle? So again, you should be pausing the recording and getting out your red circle that you cut out earlier and put into a Ziploc bag. You should then get out your fraction yellow circle pieces and cover it to show 3/4. And the final step you're going to do is you're going to write an equation that shows 3/4 as the sum of the yellow fraction pieces. Pause the recording now, and please do that. By the time you finish, I want you to look at these questions and you should be able to answer them. Again, pause the recording now and get those pieces out. How many yellows did you use to show 3/4? Well, if you did it correctly, 3 yellows would equal 3/4 because 3 yellows covers 3 out of the 4 sections. What fraction of the whole is 1 yellow? Well, if I only have 1 yellow, that's my numerator. How many pieces is it broken into? 4. So the fraction of the whole that 1 yellow is 1/4. How many fourths did you use? 3/4. Notice you used 3/4 because you used 3 out of 4. What equation should you then write? You should have written 3/4 equals 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. The reason that's the equation you would have written is because each yellow is equal to 1/4, and you had to do it 3 times, like you just did here. Again, there's another way to look at 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. We could write that, since all denominators are 4, we could leave that 4, and then we could put in parentheses above that the top fraction, which is 1 plus 1 plus 1. Notice we never add or subtract our denominators. And finally, those are unit fractions. Fractions with a numerator of 1 are called unit fractions. So this 1/4, this 1/4, this 1/4 is called unit fractions. Write an equation to show each fraction as the sum of unit fractions. Look at the fractions that I have displayed on the screen. Whenever you use fraction circle pieces to justify the decompositions, you're decomposing the fractions, meaning that you're breaking them down into smaller pieces. So when it tells you to write an equation to show each fraction as the sum of unit fractions, you're decomposing the number. So basically what you're saying is, how do I get 5/12ths? Well, you get 5/12ths by doing 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12. 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 equals, again, when I add, the numerator remains the same, and all I do is add the numbers on top. So that equals 5/12ths. Turn to Math Journal page 155. I want you to finish the page and then bring it to me because the rest of the page is an assessment check-in. Remember, if you need to rewind this recording, you always can. But look at the examples, because the examples I've done so far are really going to help you to complete this page. Stop the recording now and get out Math Journal page 155 and finish it, please. Read the problem to yourself silently as I read it out loud. And it says, 6 friends ordered 2 large submarine sandwiches. The whole is 1 sub. Each sub was divided into 6 equal pieces. What fraction names the total number of 6 the subs were divided into? Well, remember, the whole is 1 sub. But it says I have a total of 2 subs. So I'm drawing my subs. And the first thing I'm going to do is it says that they were divided into 6 equal pieces. So I'd find my halfway mark on each one, and sorry, my lines are not completely perfect. And each side then must be divided into 3, because that'll end up giving me a total of 6 in each sub. So what's the total number of 6 the subs were divided into? Well, it was divided into 12/6. The reason is because they said this sub equals 1 whole. Remember that? It says right here, the whole is 1 sub. So what the 1 sub is divided into is my denominator. But we had 2 of them. So my top number is the total pieces the 2 of them were divided in together. 12/6. Both subs were eaten entirely. All of the friends ate some. Write an equation to show how the 6 friends shared the subs. Well, again, we would have to draw our subs, divide them into 6 pieces equally. And I'm sorry, here again, I'm not drawing them perfectly. So just imagine these are all equal pieces. Because if they weren't equal pieces, there's no way I could do this. There we go. So we have 6 equal pieces. 6 friends. So if I have 6 friends in this one, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my 6 people. There are my 6 friends. Each person would get 1/6 of this sub. And maybe if Mrs. Hargraffen would have drawn 6 people, I noticed something was not quite right. And then those same people would end up getting 1/6 of this sub. Each person is getting 2/6 of the sub. Next, you're going to do Math Journal page 156. I'm going to read problem 1 to you so that you know what it says, and then I need for you to do it. It says, Karen is typing a 4,000-word essay. She can type about 30 words per minute. If she types for 45 minutes on Monday and 55 minutes on Tuesday, about how many words will she still have to type to finish her essay? Well, remember, first, we're doing the estimate. So I'm looking at the numbers they gave me. They gave me a total of 4,000. And I'm taking away 50, because I rounded 45 to 50, minutes that are 30 words per minute. I want to show you where I'm getting this from. And then I'm going to subtract 50 again times 30 words per minute. That will give me my answer for my estimate. My real number model would be 4,000, and now I'm using the real numbers, minus 45 times 30, because those are the numbers they gave me, minus the 55 times 30, again, those are the numbers that they gave me, to come up with my real answer, which is about how many words. Finish this problem and then go on and do the rest of page 156. Correct those from the answer key and then bring it up to me if you have any questions or had any problems. Pause the recording now and do page 156. The last thing you're going to do for lesson 5.1 is Math Masters page 191. You're going to need to go over to the file folder and pull that out. And what you're going to do is looking at name collection boxes. In these boxes, what I want you to do is I want you to be decomposing the fractions, meaning breaking them down. So make sure that you're finding different ways to find 11/5. And of course, the easiest would be 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. And having that 11 times in one box. But there's other ways to do 11/5, like maybe 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 1/5. Finish this page and then bring it up to me. Make sure you do the practice at the bottom because some of you are forgetting to do that. And then you are done with lesson 5.1.